We're about to do our third cane. It's called the bullseye cane, and as you can imagine, it's a roll. And I'm going to just take maybe half of this. This is half of the teal, and so now I'm taking half of it, so it's only a quarter of the teal, and I'm going to just roll it up into a little snake. Um, Fold it in half, I guess, because it's too long already, and fold it into a, push the ends in, and roll, push the ends in and roll. You want to get about a 2 or a 3-inch long even coil of clay, okay? Like a worm, so to speak, but don't let your ends get all skinny. Make sure that the whole length of it is about the same, okay? So there, I think that's pretty good. Now, we're going to wrap this cane in order to make a bullseye. So I choose a color. Let's say I choose orange. Well, take my orange, I'm going to slice it off at the bottom, and I'm going to slice it up the side so that I have a perfect right angle here. Then I'm going to take my little center, place it right in there. You can see it's a little bit longer than the orange, but I'm going to have to live with that. And bring my orange up and around. When I come to the other side, if I just roll it past where it needs to go and then back again, I'll see a line, and the line is exactly where I need to cut in order to bring these two pieces together. Now, what we're going to do is use our finger and gently nudge the clay. If it's a little bit far apart, nudge it together. If it's a little bit over, take your little knife and cut it off and make it more the right size. So now that it's the right size, I can smooth this and just roll it a little bit. This is the beginning of a jelly roll. If I cut one end off, you will see that unlike the spiral cane, this has a turquoise center with a perfect round orange outside. Now, to make a bullseye cane, we need more than one color. So I'm going to lay this down, take my green, lay it sideways, cut it straight, cut it to the right angle, place my jelly roll, place my bullseye right on it, and gently roll it up. Just smooth it on, make sure that you're not catching any air. Roll it past where it needs to go and back. You'll see the line exactly where you need to cut. Cut, roll, and then go back with your fingers and carefully join your seam. Now I can see my seam is just a little bit too big here, so I'm going to take my knife and cut that little triangle off. It's easier to push the clay toward itself to join it than it is to have an overlap. If you have an overlap, you'll end up with a bump in your cane. You don't want that. So here I am with 3 colors. So I cut this end off. Again, you will see all 3 colors, the turquoise, the orange, and the green. Now I'm going to go one further. What the heck? Let's see. Let's do a yellow. So I'll do the yellow for the outside layer, but my yellow looks a little bit flimsy. So I'm going to just roll it a little bit longer so that I have lots to play with. There we go. Now I can take my yellow, place it this way, square it off, square it off on the side, place my jelly roll my bullseye right there, underscore your clay with your blade to lift it, and bring that yellow up and roll and over, go back, see where you need to cut, and those two should go together, but they didn't. I cut just a little bit too big, so I'm going to open it up and I'm going to cut it again, just another fraction smaller. And that fraction, as you can see, is too small, but that's okay. Better always too small than too large. So I will gently with my fingers bring the yellow toward itself on each side, gently, gently push it the clay will give and it will meet up. So that's all I need to do is meet it up. And once I do that, I can roll it, keep pinching it if I need to, roll it, pinch in that last spot. You can see the seam now. There's no green showing. If I cut off the bad end, which is where it's all kind of scrappy, we should see the perfect jelly roll that we made, which is yellow, green, orange, and blue. Now, what we're going to do is put your pieces aside. These pieces are really good for later. I take my bullseye cane. I'm going to cut 2 inches off of it, so I have a piece to use for later. I'll set that over here with my finished canes. And I'm going to take this piece, and I think before I roll it, I'll just pinch it. I'll pinch it lightly and extend it. I'm trying to make it a little bit longer. So if I pinch it, I can control this clay and make it a skinnier, longer bullseye cane. Now I can roll it, and I think we should be able to get, just as we did with the jelly roll, we should be able to get 2 nice pieces out of this. All right, so I've done it. I'm going to place it. I'm going to trim it. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to trim it. And sure enough, look at that. Now we have a big jelly roll and 2 small jelly rolls. Excellent. So let's make another jelly roll while we're at it so that we have some color choices. Now, in your scraps, you got a lot of little bits of color. So it wouldn't be hard to take a piece, say, of this orange, just roll it up, squish it up, and let's make that a very tiny center for another bullseye cane. Just roll it slightly. It doesn't have to be very big. And I can take a sheet of purple. I think I'll set it this way. It's a little bit better. Cut it and cut it. And place my little orange piece right there. Look at that, perfect size. Just lift my clay and let's bring it around. Mark it and cut it. Now this piece is terrific. We have a very nice single jelly roll. Now it's only got the one color. I've got a little gob of orange on the outside, but it's not a big deal. We're going to be able to hide that later on. But I can now roll it and have quite a nice little jelly roll here. Now let's see if I have any other colors that are left over. Well, I kind of don't. But if I were to take my teal and my greens, say, that are left over, and I've got quite a bit of that, and mix them together in my fingers. Use your hands, press and mix, pick up that green too. We're going to get a whole new shade of clay here. And the clay will work perfectly with our project because we're using the original colors that we started with. So this teal and green is going to become a darker green, a lighter teal. I'm not entirely sure what color it's going to be, but it's going to be beautiful. So we mix it up. It takes a second, but it's now giving me a nice blob of clay that I can use. So I can make one more ring around this bullseye, which I would very much like to do. So we're going to push this all together, mix it up well. There we go. That's very nice. Just move that to the side for a minute. Take my roller. And let's see what we can get. Let's see if we can get a nice long piece that we can use for the jelly roll, or for the bullseye. I don't know why I keep saying the wrong words, but I do. Sort of like making pie. You have to kind of push the dough the direction that you want it to go. I'm sure this is plenty big, but I'm just giving it an extra roll in case. So I'll put it sideways like so, cut the bottom, cut the side, take my little purple roll, yeah, it's going to be perfect, slice underneath it to make it easy to roll, bring that clay up and around, all the way to the other side, make a mark, cut that off, and seal it up. And we've got another wonderful jelly roll, or bullseye cane. I'll trim off both ends, put that aside, seal it up. With that little wee bit of clay, we have managed to make 4 wonderful jelly rolls, or 4 wonderful bullseye canes. 3 yellow, 2 small, 1 big, a nice green one. And that's what we want to do with our other pieces as well. If you have clay left over at this point, what you'd like to do is make another jelly roll, or in particular, another stack cane. Mix clay together if you need to make your colors, but make yourself at least 1 more jelly roll and 1 more stack cane, and then we'll be ready to go on to our fourth and final project, which is our mosaic cane. All right, I'll see you in a bit.